Hi there, it's Sue, and thanks for joining me for Tips and Talk Day. These are bite-sized topics that I pull from community questions and things that I'm observing in the world of handmade small business. If you'd like to submit a topic, DM me over on Instagram at GiftBizUnwrapped. Okay, Patty, I am calling you out here on my podcast. Sorry, but not sorry. To fill you in, Patty has been a dear friend of mine since childhood. I'm so fortunate because I'm still super close with a lot of my girlfriends from that time. And Patty was our leader. I'm not exactly sure why, but maybe it's because she has 4 older sisters and an older brother whose looks put a Greek god to shame. Because of her older siblings, she was well known, instantly popular, and always in the know about topics, school-related and social, that every teen girl wants in on. Patty and I spent countless hours together. Sleepovers, tennis matches, trick-or-treating, ice cream runs, and she's the one who got me involved in cheerleading in 5th grade. That was the start of my whole cheerleading career. But it's another story. Maybe that would make a good podcast topic, actually. But let's stay on point here. As with all teens, we were obsessed with clothes. This is back in the day when we actually dressed up for school. Jeans were allowed only on Fridays, but that didn't work for us because that was always cheerleading uniform day. Anyway, on one of those lazy afternoons when Patty and I were just hanging out in my bedroom, she decided that my Monday through Thursday wardrobe needed to be accounted and planned for. After that, each summer, as we anticipated the start of our next high school year, Patty would come over and together we'd create a schedule of my attire for school, all the way up to holiday break. What resulted was a list of outfits perfectly matched and merged together in a variety of combinations to make the most of my wardrobe. Side note, Patty later went on to Vogue Design School, so I guess this was in her blood all along. Anyway, this list was photocopied, and Patty checked when we got to our lockers each morning to make sure that I was following the plan. If I got a new outfit, together we would figure out how that would fit into the schedule. The new version of the schedule was then photocopied. No joke. It was strict and serious, but all in fun. However, it could cause some problems too, because weather here in Chicago isn't predictable. And on a cold and snowy day, my outfit sometimes didn't quite fit. But I'd wear it anyway. I'd come down to breakfast, and my mom would say, "Suzanne, what are you thinking?" And I'd say, "But this is what was on Patty's list." So believe it or not, my mom would respond, "Oh, okay then." I told you Patty was a leader. Plus, my parents loved her. She has that type of personality, you know? To know her is to love her. This was my introduction into the key of how to supercharge my productivity. Through Patty, a master and, dare I say, obsessive list maker. Patty had lists not only of my school outfits, she had lists of every single thing in her life. She was actually hysterical. Here's another unique one. She decided she wanted to try every single shampoo and conditioner on the market. So she started at the upper left shelf of the Herbinger drugstore and used the product that was there first. When it was finished, she'd go on to the next one and the next one and the next one. You can only imagine her anger and confusion if they rearranged the shelves. Luckily for her, at that time, they didn't do that so often as we do today. As we got older, she decided we should try all the restaurants on the North Shore. How was that done? Well, alphabetically, of course. That led to some interesting experiences, for sure. One more thing about Patty. She had a memory for dates like nobody else. She knew everybody's birthday, anniversary, day a pet passed away, days of all sorts of memories. I should ask her. I bet it's because she keeps a list. Anyway, this leads to the key of supercharging your productivity. One simple 5-letter word. Lists. They don't have to be the crazy ones like Patty and I used. Over the years, I found a more rational form of list creation that made its way into my daily habits as well. On the personal side, I have lists for packing, a list for holiday gift purchasing, a list of my favorite go-to recipes for various occasions. This one has actually made it onto my phone, complete with accompanying recipes. So if I'm traveling and I want to make a special recipe for dinner, easy peasy. And as I consider the business end, lists are one of the productivity techniques I teach for how to use my inspired daily planner. That's a structure of lists, actually. Goals for the year, projects for the month, tasks for your days. You can watch a free video on this at giftbizunwrapped.com/inspired if you're interested. And I use lists all throughout my business to stay on track, remind myself of important things that are coming up, all that type of thing. I bet you've heard the term operating procedures. In essence, each operating procedure is a list that can be followed of documented activities to perform any function within your business. They're particularly beneficial if a task is repetitive. That way you don't have to remember all the steps and in what order. Just follow the list once you have one. Imagine how useful it can be when you bring on employees. They can follow the same system you've already created. Easy and a great way to minimize errors, too, by the way. There are even productivity apps now that help you electronically organize lists. We use Asana here at Gift Biz Unwrapped for the podcast and written content creation. The podcast has easily over 80 different steps for each episode. Yes, seriously, that's no exaggeration. And this list and process gets tossed from me to Mish, who's our podcast editor, to Valerie, who does the show notes and other content creation for each show. At any given time, each of us can see where an episode is in production to plan our work days and ensure that each episode is done on time. I can't even imagine trying to do this without an operating procedure, or, in simpler terms, a list. The other thing lists can do is give your memory a break. Maybe you're like me and find that you'll have a great idea that you know you're going to remember. Then, just an hour later, it's like, what was that again? I have to-do lists of all sorts. A tips and talk topic list, and lists for new apps to check out, gift ideas. Shoot, I even have a vacation destination wish list. The time savings involved when working with lists is enormous. This is why it leads to newfound time and speed in getting things done. You know how sometimes, particularly when you're faced with an unknown or less than exciting job that you need to do, you just stall right at the start because you're confused about how or where to start. When faced with this next time, write down all the random things that need to be done to complete said project. Then arrange them in logical order and start with the first thing on the list. You'll see that activity creates momentum, and in no time, the project will get done. You can go back and rearrange the order if you see, as you worked through it, that it could be done a better way, so that the next time it'll be easier. And joy of all joys, perhaps one day you can hand off the entire project to someone else, because you've already created the roadmap for them to follow. Lists, an excellent way to become more productive, not only in your workday, but in your entire life. Let's create an acronym for this. L, lovingly. I, invented. S, systems. T, to. S, sanity. Lists, lovingly invented systems to sanity. That's a wrap. I'm a get-to-the-point kind of girl, and this is what you can expect from these quick midweek sessions. Now it's your turn. Go out and fulfill that dream of yours. Share your handmade products with us. We want them, and they bring us both so much happiness.